Thank you for coming to talk about video. I'm excited to see so many people interested in video. My name is Brian Gaps. I have a background in film, television, and radio production, but these days I'm basically a digital media producer because that's where everything ends up. And so I hope you're encouraging that as well. Today's speaker is Lisa Caprelli. She's been an entrepreneur and marketer for many years. She's probably head into becoming a business growth expert. One of the tools that she uses for that is video. She has a book on Amazon right now. It's hit #1 in its business category. It's called Color Your Message, The Art of Digital Marketing and Social Media. Video is one portion of that book. It's one of the tools, but it's the most important tool that we use and what we do. And she's here to talk about that today, Lisa Caprelli.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I love talking about this stuff. I only got 45 minutes, so we'll try to get in as much as we can and answer questions at the end for you. Americans now consume over 60 hours of media weekly, according to Nielsen Media study. 77% of television viewers are using their mobile, their iPad, and their laptop, sometimes simultaneously while watching TV. Now, it's very important to understand that age demographics come into play here. 92% of Americans have some type of online presence by the age of 2. It used to be when we were young, we would, on a Saturday morning, we would get fed whatever was on demand or the commercials on television. Now, on a Saturday morning, my 9-year-old gets an iPad, picks up his iPad, watches what he wants to. And it's happening all across age spans. Millennials, people who've been in business 20, 30 plus years, they want to get their message found, and video is a huge component of that. And we're so excited to give you some of the back tools of using video for your brand.
In recent surveys have shown that up to 60% of web traffic is being conducted by mobile devices. It's people with smartphones and tablets. Even if you look around the room right now, you'll see it. People are using their devices. So your customers, today's consumers, they are actively using devices on the go. They're sitting quite often in their car seat, looking for products, looking for services. They're trying to find someone with which to do business. So it needs to be you. You need to get there, be marketing through video. I was just actually having a conversation with Marisa just now about, people are using their smart devices, and the text is so small. If you have a choice between A or B of reading small font text on your phone or clicking a video, people are going to click that video. So please, market your clients through video.
And as PR professionals, many of us get our news through Google News, and we can't escape going to a news article, and there's a video there. And there's a reason for that. Not only does it help your SEO presence, does it help, for example, if ABC News wants you to go get your news from them. In plain video, the backstory, what goes on behind Google wants you to have video. The web has gone from a text-based platform to a video-based platform. And the predictions are year after year, by 2018, more and more video is going to dominate us. So it's very important as PR professionals that we educate our clients so that they start using it now.
Back in 2010, 2011, I'm sure all of you remember those commercials, the cell phone commercials. We have 4G. If you didn't realize it, that was basically the public service announcement that said the internet is now video. Technology has caught up, our streaming speeds have caught up, the devices have caught up, we can now stream video fast enough for people to tolerate and to find it and access it quickly. It was a public service announcement, the internet is now video based.
Well, there's many tools in a marketing strategy. I like to coin this as a 360 strategy that I do have in my book. I pointed this out because sometimes when I talk to my clients, they think of marketing because social media has had such a huge buzzword. Some people think this is only more marketing. Can you imagine? That's all they think is marketing. So for the purposes of this talk, and because I'm not going to have you here for 10 hours, we are focusing on video, and along with video being one tool in a palette of many in marketing business. And with video, I'm going to specifically focus in on YouTube. So Google and YouTube, I like to think of them as brother and sister. They like to play together. YouTube is the second largest search engine in this country, Google being number one. 80% or more of the country uses Google. Think about it, there's not a day that goes by that I don't hear someone say, just Google it. It just becomes part of our everyday language. Are they Googling you? Are they finding your client's product, service, or brand by keywords? I get so excited about this. So remember, they're brother and sister. They gotta use them, they play together. Besides YouTube, we realize there's other video platforms. There's Dailymotion, Vimeo, Vine, which is a 6-second, and there's so many apps you can use for video.
And the importance of video is just apparent in the weekly announcements of all the websites and apps that now integrate video. Twitter, most recently, I think last week, said they're now going to host video. And we're not talking about just allowing you to tweet a link to a video. They're actually dedicating server space to hosting your videos. It's out there. The internet is video-based.
I have a few of these must-do tips that I find, whether it's a big business or a small business, is you got to verify your YouTube channel to be able to use all the bells and whistles that YouTube lets you do. So just Google it, verify my YouTube channel when you log into the Gmail that you want to verify. And many people may have other accounts, so you have to log into the Gmail for your brand, number one. Two, Google is going to immediately send you a text to verify that this is your channel. And by doing so, you're going to be able to host more video feed. You're going to be able to do really cool things with your YouTube channel, like add custom thumbnails, graphics, and so much more. So keywords are the words or phrases that these search engines use to find your business if you are coding them correctly when you create videos.
One of the major changes in the last couple of years with searches have been the movement toward phrases and long-tail keywords. Siri, the popularity of Siri has contributed to this. People hold their devices and they're speaking their searches into their phone, which now means that keywords have become phrases instead of just simple words like chicken or roasted chicken. It's how can I cook a roasted chicken, or which restaurant has the best chicken. Actually, those phrases, full-on spell-out phrases that answer questions, need to be now targeted in your marketing and in your keyword marketing. Video is a great way to do that.
And adding to that, for example, how does this translate to you as a PR professional or for the client you represent? Carrie Kasem, Casey Kasem's daughter, she's one of my clients. So is an attorney that she used when she was going through her ordeal, Martha Patterson. So we took, when you type in Google, who is the attorney Martha Patterson, who is the attorney Carrie Kasem used? That's right here. We targeted that and embedded those keywords into the video. So again, by doing this, this is creating an organic web presence for your client. It's not pay-per-click. It's valuable. So here's some secret sauce. Here is a screenshot of us in a YouTube video. We're in edit mode. And this is what you, as in your Gmail and YouTube would see. So here's some secret sauce. We don't disclose this to a lot of people, but we want to give you as many nuggets as you can, because when I'm looking at someone's video and seeing how well they coded it, this is the first place I go. It's like hunting. Let's see if they know what they're doing. And this tells us a lot, these 3 stars.
Yeah, it's a weird hobby of ours to look at other people's videos and see if they coded it properly. So the first star here is title. And we're talking generically about YouTube, but it generically applies. Dailymotion, Vimeo, and the other services, they all have similar backgrounds to their services. Title, in this case, is 100 characters. But when you do a search, and the bolded title comes up, typically only the first 60 characters of this title shows up. All the characters are important, but the first 60 words are the most important because that's what's most visible. We suggest that you use this space. This is prime real estate. You use this for the keywords that people are searching for. I don't typically put brand names, company names, geography. I don't put those at the front of this title. I put those in the back. You do want to market those for your clients, but the words that are going to get the new customers, that answer questions for people, those are what you want at the front of this title. The second portion there is description. And that is just a narrative write-up of the content of the video, maybe the services or the the product that your business has. And it should also match the title and the words and the subject of the title. The last part are tags, the third star there are tags. And those again are also keywords. That's not visible to the viewer, but that's on the back end. And again, that's for YouTube. They want you to code and select the proper categories, the prime categories. And these also are keywords. As you're typing those in, suggestions come up. Take a look at those, see if they apply. Pick those suggestions if they're applicable, because they come with added benefits to them as well. Now, the fourth star, which isn't there, is the video itself. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but Google and YouTube, they secretly transcribe the audio of your video. They understand, they know what the content of that video is. And they use that also. They match the content of your video with the title, with the description, with the tags. And they're looking for alignment in all four of those places. And if you have that, it says, okay, this is relevant. This isn't a trick. There's a lot of gaming and tricking of this system going on over the years. It says, no, it's not a trick. You can't take a Miley Cyrus video and load it up and then put your put a video of your business and then keyword it, oh, this is Miley Cyrus's latest something. And then you're not going to trick Google anymore. It just doesn't happen. You have to have all those in alignment.
And here's Brian, when he talked about putting your brand at the end. If your brand is well known, if you are just starting off in a startup business, you really want to get found more, right? You want people to find your website. So again, they're going to find your website if you initially in description put the URL. I cannot tell you how many videos do not have the URL, the first space, when you're in edit mode. So here's a client of ours, estate planning attorney in Newport Beach. And talking about tags, again, only you as the attorney would see this, or if you're marketing for your client, you would be able to see the tags. So this video does not talk about him doing a radio interview. A separate video does. So in talking, when Brian says, make your video relevant with the keywords and how he gave that Miley Cyrus example, Google and YouTube will know if this isn't relevant, and it starts not prioritizing your videos. So we want your videos prioritized when you do the keywords, when people are going to type those keyword phrases on Google.
And we're talking a lot about video, but it really has to do a lot with SEO and being found and finding a way for your clients to get found. There's an enormous amount of data that these search engines have to sort through. And so they absolutely want you to separate your apples and oranges. Do not mix them. Keep them apples and oranges. For instance, this client, he's an attorney. He has his specialty in his law practice. And so you can do things that market specifically toward that law practice, but don't mix in, hey, he'd be a great interviewee, he does great radio interviews, any of that. It's fine. You can market things differently, but use separate vehicles for that. And keep your apples and oranges separate. Otherwise, Google will penalize you on that.
On that note, it's really important. This is where you would want to brand. His name's Ted Hankins. So if someone wants to vet him because they would refer to him, they would, and we always Google our people's names before we do business. Let's face it. So if you type in Ted Hankins, you're going to see all these videos that come up. You're going to see that he's had lots of radio interviews. But that's a different search than finding estate planning child attorney in Newport Beach. So I want to make that clear, because when we talk with people, literally, this is where we have to separate. It's like, wait, what are you talking about? It's two different things. Okay, this is exciting. This is where you get to be the PR hero for your client if you're in charge of their marketing or advertising spend. So I have had over 10 years of radio advertising, thousands of messages to get calls to action for a client. You can now take a 30-second radio ad. You can overlay it with video or photos. And now you're repurposing their budget, repurposing their message. You would take the 60-second voiceover and stitch photos or video, place it on the client's YouTube channel, on the website embedded, and you can social media that forever, throughout the year. Doing this alone, why other people don't do this, I don't get it. But again, you get to be the PR hero for your client because you start doing this for them. And they're going, wow, I never knew I could do all this. advertising spends from what 2001 to now 2015, it's so much cheaper. So that's one of the ways to be a hero to your client and to explain to them, look, before you'd have to spend $15,000 a month to get a good radio campaign. You can spend a fraction of that, and we're going to do all these things for you. You're going to get found, you're going to have a strong web presence. And they see results pretty quickly when you start doing this.
Lisa and I talk about this constantly, that we can't believe that the magazines, when they're struggling, can't believe that they do not provide this for their clients. People constantly ask her, what should I advertise, where should I advertise, how should I do it? It's befuddling that these things are not being repurposed like they should be. I love it when a client actually has done print media that maybe worked for them, maybe even didn't work for them, but I said, look, it's not over, it's not over. I'd love to shoot a video of the print material. I scan it, I zoom in, and I put audio to it. Now it lives in perpetuity far beyond the paper version.
Again, once you verified your YouTube channel, YouTube has so many bells and whistles and tools and free tools. So here's a charity that wanted to get a web presence. So the first thing I did was say, send me your photos from last year. We uploaded them here when you're in the YouTube channel under Photo Slideshow. Again, this is free. You upload them, you can upload 3, you can upload 30, you can upload 300, although I wouldn't do 300. I'd make 10 videos of 30 each with multiple keywords. And then once you upload it, I mean, you start playing with it, it's like a game, you know, it's really a lot of fun. And then you can add music, and there's millions of free music songs that you can play with your video.
There are a lot of great services on these channels for doing video. You don't have to be an expert. There's music editing, photo stitching, like Lisa said. But we've equally taken cell phone video footage of a retail store. And if it's properly coded, and if it looks good enough and properly coded, that's just as important as some of the slickly produced videos. They've got more hits, more attention, and drawn in more customers, some of those videos that have been really low-key. So don't get bogged down into the technical side of video shooting and editing.
Okay, so here's a case study, another client of ours, Toyota of Whittier. This client did not have a web presence, and we did a 360 strategy and all the elements. They were going to need blogging, they were going to need content, social media, the right messages. The first place we started with this client was with video. And so in talking with different management and where they wanted to get the most calls first, the website leading to calls, it was oil change coupon in Whittier. So it took us about 2 weeks. We started making multiple videos, and you see how we're talking about keywords? And so each description, when you go into them, is revolved and is relevant to those keywords. Within about 2 months, they're the busiest they've ever been. They actually added an internet department now to their parts and service department and their sales. Within about 45 days, they had superseded their previous year's sales in car sales. And so they caught on, it works. Just met with them earlier this week. They want all their cars videotaped from now on because Toyota's going, what's going on? And, you know, of course they don't tell the secret sauce. I don't even know that they get it. They just trust. They don't want to learn this stuff. Sometimes I said I could train someone. They're like, no, we just want to sell cars. And so here, this is where Toyota. How many people have heard the Toyotathon USA radio ads when you hear Toyotathon? Okay. So Toyotathon Toyota USA, the corporate, puts on radio campaigns for all its dealerships. So I'm listening to radio ads and I go, I can repurpose this. So I made my own video saying we participate with Toyotathon. You type in Toyotathon Los Angeles, our clients on the top page of Google. All this is free. It's free. It's not pay-per-click. This client does 0 in pay-per-click, 0. Other dealerships, in doing research, pay upwards of $7,500 to $15,000 a month in pay-per-click. I'm talking to a dentist the other day, and he does $10,000 a month in pay-per-click. And I said to him, heard about what we do in creating that organic web presence. I said, so what happens if you stop paying Google? Do you go away? I know the answer to this, by the way, but I want him to tell me. He goes, yeah, I go away. No one has made this for him all these years. So it's going to be easy to work with this client and decrease his budget. And I even said, have you ever done any radio or any radio interview? No, I'd love to be on radio. Well, he's putting all his money in one source. So now, you know, you can make a bigger package for your client. This is Toyota Whittier before their YouTube channel. I see this many times with big companies, small companies. This is how it looks. Blah. This is their channel now. It looks like its own website. It has its own URL, and we're constantly adding content. So again, I say sometimes people think, well, they're gonna need to do one video and that's it. They're never gonna do video again. That's like saying you're gonna do one social media message and people are gonna find you. So it creates the value to you as a PR professional if you're working with people that understand this, if you incorporate this into your marketing strategy.
Yeah, this is a fully developed YouTube channel. I get excited about this stuff. This I call it Pimp Your YouTube channel. You know, the previous channel that Lisa showed is the common channel I see. Major companies, I go in, it looks like this. Some employees logged into their Gmail, they're browsing on Google, looking at music videos. It starts populating their channel with music videos that they're tagging. It's really neglected space. This is free digital real estate, and it's just out there and available. Beyond that is the volume of content on here. Each line is a playlist, and it's related to a specific topic. There's product demos, there's car interiors, there's a line for service, there's the employee contest. I mean, and it allows you to sort of bundle, and this is what I was talking about with apples and oranges as well. These are keeping your different categories separate. They can all be part of one, but they also need to be delineated here.
Google wants you to be the encyclopedia of information for your brand. So whether you're a startup or you've been in business 20, 30 plus years, Google doesn't care. Remember, it used to matter that 25 years CEO and been in business 100 years, Google doesn't care. It cares about you feeding it content relevant to what the customer is searching online. And also, lastly, this dealership has a huge Hispanic community. So it's important that we have Spanish videos because that's part of their brand.
Gracias.
Okay, so here's some graph put out by Pew Research. And again, this I could talk about. This looks boring, and a lot of PR professionals I learned through the years don't really like statistics, including me. But what this graph says to me, in 1950, since Pew Research started tracking this data, our aging pyramid was like a triangle with 100 you live to be 100 to the top, 0 to 4 at the bottom, historically speaking. This is where we're at 2015. It's more like a rectangle. Year after year until 2060, the prediction, the 2060 graph, is completely a rectangle. Now, what's exciting about this is if your client is here, or if your employee is a millennial, we're going to think differently in how we want to be targeted our messages. It's not right or wrong. If you're up here, the 20, 30, 40 plus a year business professional who I work a lot with to educate them on why they need to understand the digital age. I say to them, would your product, service, or brand, would you reach more customers here if you targeted more YouTube videos like we have back here? Maybe they're not using YouTube. And actually, Toyota, this dealership has a Scion brand that is targeted towards the millennial. So if you're found, you're the hero. You're getting more business.
We grew up in an era, I grew up in an era anyway, where it was constantly said that why is entertainment, products, even fast food, everything's geared toward teenagers, young adults, and there was constantly that message of why are things just targeted at that level? And obviously on that pyramid, that's where the sweet spot was. But it's widened. The age gap has disappeared. We're getting older, we're living longer. And there's a large customer base at each age level. And what's exciting is with video messaging, you're allowed to target each message to a different segment, a different age group. One of the ways we do that is we work with different people. We have millennials at our company, and I let them put out their messages in their own way. They're able to better reach the audience that they're shooting for than I am sometimes. So we let different people get involved in the messaging so that we can just be reaching people at different levels here.
So just a recap, we still got more to go, is getting your act together. Is A, we want you to achieve your brand's keywords. C, content is king. We've heard that before. Content is everywhere. Content, relevant content. The keywords are relevant to the videos you're producing for you or your client. Target and broaden your audience. We explained why, and again, I could talk about this stuff for a long time, and really getting people to think outside the box. Oftentimes, when we come across the many people who have been in business 30 plus years, and they say, but none of my friends use this stuff, and what do we say?
Okay, there's a reason why.
Like, exactly, you're missing out on a whole bunch of people that are not using you. In fact, often some of the clients I showed you here earlier, their business is dying. And they're like, I'm turning into a business dinosaur, what am I doing? And I said, you're only wanting to market the old way. You're not doing things the new way. And so by just educating your client, you're gonna get them to trust you to do more for their brand with all the tools and information like you're learning at this PRSA conference. Okay, this is something that scares people too when they think of video. They think they have to be in video, and that's the first reason they don't want to do video. You don't have to be in video to have a video. In fact, it's going to make your budget much higher. You can do this. In fact, I often say, well, if you've never done video, I don't want you in my video. You're not going to be relevant, and people are going to click on that and go, oh, So I'll do this down the road, but this is not typically the first place I start, unless it's a big brand, and they want to hire talent. So the next video that we're going to play for you is an example of you don't have to appear in video to have a video. The video I'm going to play was a contest put out by AARP. It had over 16 million hits.
I am part of a lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie, and money will make me happy. So in 30 years, I will tell my children they are not the most important thing in my life. My employer will know that I have my priorities straight because work is more important than family. I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together. But this will not be true in my era. This is a quick fix society. Experts tell me 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making. In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm. No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth. It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope. And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth. No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm. In the future, I will live in a country of my own making. I do not concede that 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this, family is more important than work. I have my priorities straight because my employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life. So in 30 years, I will tell my children, money will make me happy is a lie, and true happiness comes from within. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world, and I refuse to believe that I am part of a lost generation.
It gets really So when I saw this video, I was like, oh my gosh, like how could I have ever thought of that? It was a contest. So again, thinking outside the box, thinking outside of your age category, it's important. Sometimes we get stuck in what we know. It's important. That's what the beautiful thing about social media and doing a contest like this is you're going to get many people's viewpoints. So do you think that helped their brand? How much do you think that cost the contest to produce? I don't even know what it cost, but it's not a lot for 16 million hits. Here, Toyota USA put a contest out to all of its dealerships.
Yeah, Lisa showed up one day after visiting our client and had a memo that said, hey, there's an employees contest to enter. It was handled by the Los Angeles regional office. And I instantly got excited and I said, oh, look, they're trying to teach the value of video to all their dealerships by getting them all involved and getting their employees involved. Now, it was a good-sized contest, but most dealerships entered one video, 500 and 1,000 hits. That's 6 videos. That's a minimum of 3,000 hits to the channel. It increased the viewership of their YouTube channel 150%. which actually elevates all of the videos because they're all related. They're all on that channel. It brings up the relevance of everything.
And it was so much fun to do. This is where it feels like you're not working. We laughed, we got to know the employees, they all got to know each other more because the owner said, sure, do it, have fun with it. And in fact, now they're like, when are you coming back? We want to do more videos. And realize this is a dealership that was afraid of video. They would never, when we went in with cameras, do you want to be on the camera? No, I don't want to be on the camera. And now they want to be on camera. So something in measurements and metrics, when people want to know, what is it going to measure? I want to know what's my ROI bottom line. Here's an example, and these are one of those sticks that Brian talked about, where video can't measure and it's human emotion.
Why do you tell your camera crews that wishes can come true?
I really like the high-end audio system. AM/FM radio, CD player, MP3 capability, and the satellite radio even comes with a touchscreen. I wish it came with live music.
They were employees, and they did this, and it was tremendous, the results, and Mike, who's been with that dealership 25 plus years, went up to him,
and he said, look, I've been here a long time. He said, I'm meeting employees I've never met before. They're coming up to him, they're talking to him about his music. That's an original song, been in several bands. He just had the greatest time with it, and it brought, it was a whole team building effort for that business that was kind of a bonus.
That's, again, the neat part to me. And here's a sample script that we went in and helped them with. You don't have to be a script writer to do this, but when you are engaging employees or people in video, it's good to have a plan written out for them, and it's always the video editor will love you. It makes their job easy. Okay, here's another must-do tip. When you're logged into your video and you want to share it through social media throughout the year or so forth, you want to be logged into the Gmail for the brand you're representing. And you want to be logged into your I'm not going to go into Facebook because Facebook has its own, they always change the way they want you to do it. They want you to not use YouTube. So when you're logged into Twitter, Google+, or other social media, make sure you're logged into the right brand with the right Gmail and share it. By doing so, for example, with Twitter, it puts out a really nice thumbnail on your homepage of Twitter. By not doing so and only doing a link because you're not logging into it properly, you're going to miss out on that extra piece of graphic. Another must-do tip is verify your business on the Google Maps, and you can Google it, how to verify my business on the Google Maps. Many businesses still don't do this, and it's free. And when someone wants to find your business, if they Google your keywords to your brand, and you have not done this, you're not going to get found. And it takes 2 weeks. Google sends you a postcard in the mail, and then you start playing with more pieces of Google.
And there's two worlds on the internet. There's the anonymous world that people love to be on the internet and have their anonymity. But we're dealing with business here, and you need to not be anonymous. So please verify every opportunity you get when you start working with these tools. There's, they want cell phones, and then they want to text a verification code. You just want to know who you are, but you do not want to play hide and seek when it comes to marketing your businesses for your clients. We have a lot of older clients who talk about, I've been in business a long time, and I don't really, this digital fad, this internet phase, I don't need to do this, or it's too overwhelming for them. And they say, I'm just going to stay out of it. I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I am not going to do this. And we have to tell them, look, unfortunately, your online identity is being created every day with or without your active participation. So you need to get involved. You need to take control of what is being said about your business. It's being talked about on social networks. It's being talked about on customer review sites. they're slowly starting to get it and coming around to wanting to control that message. But we have a lot of work to do with our clients out there.
As well, by not doing so, as Brian said, your online identity will be created. Think of YouTube. Think of Yelp. Have you ever seen a bad Yelp for example, restaurant? Or there's many types of customers that haven't done the web presence. So that's all they're finding about your business. Is that going to hurt your business? Probably so.
One thing I have to interject on that is we do have a client that has a little trouble with their Yelp. And so one of the things that I do is I go find I take their positive Yelp reviews and I stitch those into a little video. And then I keyword it that says Yelp reviews for their business or something like that. And hopefully that's what pops up when people are searching for Yelp reviews on that company.
So in closing, something no robot or app can do is create content for you that requires a human being. Think about that. No robot, no app can create content. It needs us as PR professionals, us as marketers, with the message, the content. So I say that because I used to think like, oh, when digital came around, is it replacing us? No, it's an exciting time to be in this business today. It's an exciting time to be a PR professional, a marketer, represent brands, because there's so many that we didn't care about sharing our secret sauce. We need to help the people to get found relative. I often say, if you need to go to the doctor and you want to find a doctor who's been around 25, 30 plus years, do you want to find him or the person right out of college? No offense to that person. When I type in those keywords, if I'm not finding you, Mr. 30 plus business owner, I'm finding that young guy. And you know what? Kudos to him for understanding this digital age and getting found.
Yeah,
Well, that's it. Thank you for your time. Oh my God.